Welcome back to Stogie Geeks, episode 267, volume 2. I am your host, Joe Hozempa. Thank you for tuning in. I have in studio Chris Clarke.
What's up?
Chris is lighting his cigar. Chris is a brand ambassador for Hiram and Solomon Cigars. If you're just tuning in, we had a awesome interview with George and Fuad.
Yes.
Right? Getting the name.
There you go.
With George and Fuad. Well, let's stop right there. Let's take us through what it's like to, obviously they own the company, they're co-partners in the company, they manage the product and the blends. What's it like being a rep for Hiram and Solomon? And then we'll give that its due diligence, and then we'll take the time out. In between, we're gonna do some Stogies of the week that I have too, and then we'll take you through some of the other brands that you represent as well.
Sure. So I cover all of New England, and wherever they need me to fill in, whatever they need me to do, whether it's the South, the North, wherever it is. If they need me, I'm there. So working for Hiram and Solomon is probably the best job I've ever had. It's stressful at times, like this morning, I had to get the kid to school and then get down here. I live in northern Maine, well, central Maine really, but everybody calls it northern Maine because they only know about Portland.
Yeah, right.
So the people, there's more to Maine than Portland, okay? But that being said, working for these guys, I've never met two people with more passion for the cigar industry. Everything they do with their cigar is about the love of the cigar, the love of the people. They want to introduce people to cigars. So my job isn't to sell. My job is to bring joy to people. I have the utmost confidence in our product. It makes it easy to sell. So when I go into a shop, I'm tasked with getting people who normally don't smoke boutique cigars to smoke a cigar they've never heard of. Not an easy position to have. Right. Especially shop owners that are like, oh, I only do this cigar or that cigar. Right. It's like, well, hey, why don't you give me 10 minutes of your time? Light this stick. I guarantee you smoke the whole thing. But as far as Fuad and George go, these guys spend majority of their time on cigars. It's what they do. Fuad was in Texas for almost the entire month. He spent a couple days up here with me and then was gone. We're doing events every week. We're constantly promoting product. We're constantly sending stuff out. So for me, it's the experience of learning about the industry, learning about the different cigars, learning about the blends, how they're blended, and I have fun doing it. I don't consider this work. I consider this a hobby that just happens to be a full-time job.
Yeah, sure.
So it's a lot of fun. The guys are really good to work for. They give back to the community. I'm a local elected official back home. I coach youth sports, and I'm a firefighter. So I give back to the community as much as I possibly can. And these guys really fit that bill because they give back to several different organizations. They donated $10,000 last month to a Coast Guard Memorial Fund back in New Jersey. So everything that we do is community-centered. It's about the people, for the people, and bringing joy to the people. So, yeah. And
cigars are tasty. They are awesome. What am I doing now? I'm doing the Crazy Connecticut? No.
Yeah, the Crazy,
crazy
Connecticut.
Connecticut?
The Miracle Connecticut. I believe that was just rated a 94, I think. I'd have to look at my numbers again. But, yeah, that's called the Miracle Connecticut. It's called that because, or so we've been told, because it's one of the first Connecticut's on the market to have flavor to it. So, as Fuad said, what we like to do with that,
it's got good spice to it, for sure.
It does, yeah. And the thing about it is, it's still a Connecticut. So, even if you smoke Connecticut's and you don't like any spice, it's not the type of spice that is going to burn your mouth or make you hate the cigar. It's the type of spice that's going to let you know that you're smoking something, but at the same time allow you to enjoy the smoothness and the creaminess of a Connecticut. So
it does got a good a natural tobacco sweetness.
It does.
It's got a scotch of a bite to it.
It does.
If you retrohale it,
Absolutely.
It's got a scotch of a bite to it.
But you have to retrohale. I mean, it's a cigar.
I get it. Well, this is the Stogies of the Week section. In this section, we take the time out and let the Stogie Geek listener know what the staff here and crew has been smoking. And this week, one of the sticks I had was the EP Carrillo New Wave Reserva. The format I had was a Toro. It's a 6x52. Wrapper is in Ecuadorian Connecticut. The binder is Connecticut broadleaf. The filler is Dominican with some Nicaraguan in it. Complexity, flavor, and balance on a scale of 1 to 10. Complexity, I gave it a 7. Flavor and balance, I gave it an 8. By the way, I posted all of this. StogieGeeks.com. Click on the Stogies section. You can comment underneath that and let me know what your experience has been as well. It's available in 4 different sizes. Basically, the Connecticut broadleaf really adds complexity, where immediately you get notes of cocoa, espresso, and a little bit of like a natural tobacco sweetness.
Absolutely.
For sure. I dubbed this a really good, great actually morning cigar. Okay. Or breakfast cigar. You know, if you're having brunch and you had a big breakfast and you want to smoke a cigar afterwards, it's certainly a good go-to. Because of the bitiness of the Nicaraguan, I'm not saying it's bitey where it's harsh. It just has a little bit of a kick to it.
It does.
Kind of like this,
yep.
Right? With that being said, I gave the EP Carrillo New Wave Reserva a box split. Are you familiar with the ratings here on Stogie Geeks?
I'm not familiar with the box split, but
pretty simple. We have lawn mulch, right? Now this was created by Stogie Geeks host in the past, right? So they have lawn mulch, angler, meaning you're fishing and you're right. They have a try one. They have a fiver, meaning you would buy 5. Box split, you would box split. They've added box split with a friend, which there is a true difference with box split with a friend. I have a couple of those ratings coming up, so I'll explain that.
Usually you get the cigars back from the friend.
Well, actually, I never thought about that, right? But you got box split with a friend. Then you got box worthy. Then you have fight Chuck Norris for it.
Ooh.
And Oasis.
Wow.
So, yeah. So those are the ratings.
Okay.
So I judge mine by what I would do. So like throughout the course of the year, would I certainly buy almost a half a box of these? Absolutely.
Absolutely. I would agree with you 100%. I mean, it's a great stick.
Yeah.
Lots of great flavor. And, it's the EP Carrillo company. They really know what they're doing with cigars, too. The burn's good, draw's good. I don't think I've ever had a bad stick from that company. And I would agree with you.
Yeah. A couple of episodes back, we interviewed Ernesto Perez Carrillo. It was a good interview. It's over in the Stogie Geeks archive, so if you missed that, you can certainly check that out. Another one I had was the La Aurora DNA. The wrapper says ADN, not to confuse anyone. I took a picture of it, right? The size, I mean, I've had every single size except for the Grand Toro. So I've had the Churchill, the Toro, and the Robusto. But in regards to the Stogie Geek review, I reviewed the Robusto. I really like the Robusto in this flavor, right? I'm sorry, I really like the Robusto in this stick there. Yeah, whiskey's coming in nice now, too. The size is a 5x50. Wrapper is from Dominican Republic. Your binder is your Cameroon binder. Filler is Dominican Republic with a little bit of Pennsylvania and some Nicaraguan in there. Interesting mix.
I love the Pennsylvania, though.
Yeah.
I think it's underused in the tobacco industry.
I think you're going to see a lot of maybe that coming back for sure. I don't know about the nuances of its availability,
right,
and where it goes, but the ones that have a Nicaraguan Pennsylvania or maybe Nicaraguan Honduran mix seem to kind of do it for me.
Well,
know?
they have the sweetness and they have the spicy too.
Yeah.
So it's it's a nice balance.
Yeah, I like sticks that I can pair with a spirit, and I like sticks that I can have with just coffee. Not one that is only exclusive there, and there is a good balance for sure. With this here, you have a combination of a creamy, woody flavor. You get some espresso, and you get what I call gritty earth, as opposed to earth.
Yep.
Gritty earth, to me, it kind of has that almost umami flavor, like you're like wow, like if you ever had a steak and you lick, you're
I gotta get every corner.
That's a damn good steak, right? So it has that, and Hiram and Solomon has that too. Haven't had a chance to sit down and review them yet, but I can tell you that those reviews will be coming out soon, and those reviews will be high. I wanna what I like to do is I like to wait a couple months and wait for the consistency. You know what I mean? Because we had Willie here and Manuel here on the show when they introduced the DNA, and of course I had it, and then now some time has passed, and so when I rekindle myself with the blend, it's like, okay, if it seemed to be consistent. Because usually, what I find with some of the smaller batch, and it's not that La Aurora is small by any means, but some of the first batches, they come out, and you're like, okay, these are good, right?
Yes,
But
absolutely.
the thing is, after they've gone through the first batch, and the shops go to order them, and they get the reorders in, are they just as good?
Right.
And some companies have that hurdle, and some can actually.
I think that's a hurdle that all companies face. So, I mean, it's hard when you have a hand-rolled cigar, especially the aging process and everything that goes into a cigar, to keep that consistent quality, because the tobacco you might be picking from the same tobacco, but maybe it grew a little bit differently, or the rains were a little different.
Sure, yeah.
Look at it like a Scotch. Or a blended Scotch whiskey or something like that. You have the Highland and the Lowland. Maybe it didn't rain as much in the Highlands, so the Lowland Scotch tastes a little bit different. Which I just got an education on that a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's difficult as a blender to really nail it every single time, and I think that those companies that do really make it far in the industry, and the companies that don't kind of fall by the wayside. And it's one of those cigar industry things. If you don't learn it quick, that it can really be a downer for the company, and it's sad sometimes. I've had some really good sticks that I really liked, like you said, and next thing I know, I can't find them anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
And it's because rather than risk their quality, they decided not to produce for a couple of years until the tobacco came back to what they wanted it to be. It can be a downer for sure.
It's a tough business choice to make.
Absolutely.
It's a tough choice to make, especially when the competition is so fierce, and you got to jockey for shelf space, and there sometimes it gets to be a challenge.
Well, everybody in the industry is friends, right? But that's outside of the industry. So everybody, we all get along, even other reps and I, we all sit around and have a spirit together and smoke each other's cigars. But when it boils down to it, in the business side of things, it's a really cutthroat world, unfortunately. And like you said, the shelf space, companies battle for that shelf space. It's real estate for that business owner. So look at it like buying a house. You're not going to buy a house that's dilapidated and falling apart when you can buy the house that's looking good and maintains its condition without touching it. So business owners look at their shelf space as real estate, and they say, what can I get for my, what's the bang for my buck? Are my customers going to get the same thing every time? And that's important. And I think that's why you might go into a shop one week and they have one cigar, and the next week that cigar is gone and it's been replaced by another cigar. I mean, that's happened to me several times.
Oh, sure.
So it's part of it, but we all try to work together and, give hints and pointers and tips where we can. We review each other's cigars all the time.
You only broker in the Northeast?
Yeah, I only broker in the Northeast. For the most part, the other two lines that I do, there's not really any other reps in the general area. So I branch out down into the Pennsylvania market a little bit. And pretty much wherever I go, if they don't have it, if I call the rep and he can't get down there and the company really wants it, I'll make the sale. And then the rep will take over that account. You know, I mean, we as reps for each company, we try to work together. You know, and it's important that we do that. But the Northeast is a big market. I mean, it takes me 6 hours to get to Hartford. Yeah. So, you know, when I go, I go. I'm there for a week. Yep. You know, and that's how that works.
And you work your way back up.
Absolutely.
Well, the La Aurora DNA Robusto, I gave it a box split. You know, you've had that before, right? Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I went old school for my next one. We had talked about this before the show. He's like, "What? you got to talk about this stick, right?"
I was impressed. I know a certain family member that's gonna like this one.
I had the Cielo America, right? Which as co-host of Stogie Geeks, people give me cigars all the time, right? And I go to a breakfast nook in my hometown all the time, like probably 3 days a week. I go there before I go to work, you know, and stuff like that. And the guy can't wait for the summertime because it's got all like retired cops. It's so towny, and they're outside smoking cigars outside the breakfast nook. And sometimes I join them. I actually take my schedule and go. But you know, with the Northeast weather we've been having, we haven't sat outside yet, right? And so probably about 2 months ago, he goes, "Yeah, you like cigars? Smoke this." And I was like, oh my God, he hits me a Cielo America. I was like, where'd you get this? A Smithsonian, right? You know, and he's like, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I like them. It's a barber pole. He's trying to educate. It's got a barber pole. You know, it's going, you know, you could actually film this place for sure. You know, but I had the Robusto. It's a 5x56. You have a Connecticut wrapper. Binder is Nicaraguan. You got some USA tobacco in there. Some DR tobacco and some Italy tobacco all in the binder. So you're going to mix the stuff. I like the way that they did the melting pot. It's a barber pole format. It's available in boatload of different sizes. Complexity, and the filler it has a Brazilian filler. So it's going to have a little bit of strength to it, right? Complexity, flavor, and balance. I gave it all sevens. And it's what I got a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of nut, toasted, roasted nut, smoky flavor. But what I noticed was there's like a sweet caramel, and I guess the only way to describe it is like a old school sweetness. You know what I mean? Because the cigar, God, it came out off the top of my head, what, 2006, 2007 maybe. You know, it's been a while. It's been a while. And they came out with the Brasilia, the Italia series, and the America series with the
Brasilia is one of my favorites.
Well, I was gonna go there. Like the Brasilia is, if I had a choice between all three, I would go towards the Brasilia for sure. Yeah. But you know, it's actually the branding and packaging is cool. They remind me of like little soccer jerseys. You know what I mean? Like you know, they got all the American flag and all that stuff. If you find these in your shop, I mean, get them because they're old for sure.
I had somebody tell me once. They said, "Yes, Chris, I smoked that and I tasted a Werther's Original." I said, yeah. I said, you could almost say that.
Yeah.
You could almost say that. A Werther's Original on the backside.
You have that your caramel. They're going to associate with that. Yeah. You know, it's a good stick because of its, I don't want to say it's nostalgic value, but I guess that's what's popping in my head. I gave it a box split with a friend. Yeah. You know, because it's one of those boxes that, you know, if you golf with a friend or you go fishing with a friend, and you could actually split a box with a friend. You might not blow through the whole box for yourself. It might not be a go-to, but it's a good smoke to definitely knock around with. You know,
absolutely, I would agree with that 100%.
You know, and I put on there old school flavor, I put old school craft, old school taste on the Stogie Geeks website because I could like I was writing it and I'm just like. I don't even know what to say. Like, you know, because, you know, the guy who gave it to me, you know, I'm close to the guy, you know, I see him all the time, and, you know, he's owned the restaurants, and he's one of those people, like, you go to the restaurant, in the breakfast nook, and, like, he has a picture of, like, everybody on his wall. Like, so, you know, famous people have went there and this and that, and it's like, it's crazy. You know, it's just one of those spots It's in Bristol, Rhode Island, which is home of the oldest 4th of July parade.
Oh, yeah.
So it's in our neighborhood. Like, I live on the parade route, right? And so, not only do I get to throw people off my lawn on 4th of July, right? It's like, yeah, we pay rent. Oh yeah, you're out of here, right? But like literally, at least throughout the course of 2 weeks, like 250,000 people just get injected into the town.
That's crazy.
For sure. And it's just wild. And, I literally have to park my car on July 3rd at noon, and I have no access to it because we're right on the parade route till July 5th in the morning. Like, I literally, like, because you're not trapped, but you're trapped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just people everywhere. And it's just one of those towns, And the fact that, like, out of the woodwork, it was a cold day because it was last month, and he's just like, hey, he hands me this CAO America. I don't even know if I could even get one in a shop.
I don't think I've seen them. I think you can order them online, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think I've seen them in a shop in a while.
Absolutely. So because of its value, its nostalgic value, its story, I gave it a box split with a friend.
Absolutely.
I have one more stick I want to talk about, but before we end up going and wrapping that up, take us through the other lines that you represent as well.
Sure. So I represent a couple other lines. I represent one that I just brought on that I'm very happy to bring on as the company moves forward, and as they sort of rebrand and move forward, is Rockefeller Cigars.
Mm-hmm.
I just reached an agreement with them this past weekend when I was in New York City. And I'm going to be representing their cigar up here in the Northeast. The other one is the Ohana line,
Mm-hmm.
from Ryan Rodriguez and Holly Flores. They're out of Texas. Very good cigar, very boutique, very small company. They're on the up and rise here. They make a quality brand that I truly believe in the next couple of years you'll be seeing in most of your local shops. And then the other one that I represent is Epic by Dean Parsons out of Florida. Another great stick. One thing about me is I've been in sales a long time, and I won't represent something that I don't believe in because I refuse to have to lie, beg, borrow, or steal to sell my product. So these are 4 lines that I really believe in. The Ohana line, they have one major line that we really push, which is the Pulse, and this comes in a Maduro and Habano.
Mm-hmm.
Very great blends. Don't quote me on the blends. I suck at remembering that stuff, but I do know that we have the San Andreas wrapper, and it's a genuine San Andreas wrapper on our Pulse Maduro, and that particular blend is one of my favorite cigars to smoke. And when you smoke it, at first you get this nice sweet and spicy flavor on the front side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like eating Thai wings, kind of. It's sweet, but it's spicy.
Okay.
It's just a really great flavor. And as you get through it, it gets a little bit darker. So you get some hints of the dry earth. You get some hints of the dry leather. A nice little bit of cedar hint. Now this comes in a box press. And this cigar is just so well constructed that you can actually hold the ash all the way down. You don't get it all over your shirt. It's not flying all over the place when you're driving down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have a hard time with because every time I pick up my cigar, I get ashes all over me. But it's just an all-around great blend. Hopefully, you'll be seeing that in stores here in the Northeast as things pick up. I do have a couple of shops. One of which is going to be Churchill's over in East Providence.
Mm-hmm.
He's bringing that cigar in either this week or next week. And then we have a shop up in Keene, New Hampshire that just brought the line in, and it's doing well up there, both Epic and Ohana. Nothing with Rockefeller quite yet, but we will get that moving here soon. I suspect that the Providence market will be a great market for that,
Mm-hmm.
as well as my northern New Hampshire market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Just so you know, if you want to schedule an interview with any of those,
Yeah.
you know how to contact me.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, there you go.
Listen, man, I can book you for the next 3 weeks.
And then, well, we are booked. We are booked, but for sure.
I don't know if your viewers want to see my ugly face for that long.
Well, they have to look at mine.
Wow, I know.
They have to look at mine.
Well, your picture must be up on the wall at the restaurant, right? I mean, you must have signed a picture and put it up on the wall.
No, when I like it, when I first met you, everybody wanted George's autograph, and I was like, "What? You don't want mine?"
I asked you to sign my poster, and you walked away.
Nobody wanted my autograph. Well, what's the matter with that? Right?
Well,
I haven't reached Shoppy status yet.
No,
no. I even have Stogie Geeks stickers.
What do you expect? You walk around with a PBR shirt on. What do you expect? People?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, right? I had for my last stick I want to talk about for this segment. I had. Oh, first of all, you know how you asked me about this. What is this? The stag red?
The red stag red. Yeah.
This rocks. like, let me tell you something. You have like a sweet this. Red Stag with this Connecticut is a pairing.
Really?
It is a pairing.
I'm gonna have to try it.
The one with the Shriners I had,
yeah,
soda because you get such a licorice red. You got to have a sip of that red for you. It rocks.
I will. And for the record, I'm gonna be over at Churchill's after this in East Providence. Then I'm going down to White Ash in Pawtucket.
Oh yeah. Some people would definitely catch up with you there.
People come check it out.
I've been trying to get Churchill's to view Stogie Geeks live, but they don't.
They don't watch it live?
No, they ask me about it, and I tell them all about it, and it's okay. Well, now we don't have to watch the show.
Like the customers or the owner?
The customer. Oh, the owner. The owner. The owner.
I was gonna say I'll charge him an extra 20% if he's not watching.
Yeah, you tell him. You say, hey, what's your story? Yeah.
Well, I gotta say my straight gym works just fine.
Oh yeah. I had that last couple episodes, but then I just noticed that bottle. I don't know, Paul. It's good. It switches.
I got to tell you, folks, this whole operation here.
The Stogie Geeks operation?
Crap.
Yeah, right? You walk in, right? It's like Disneyland. You don't realize
Holy crap, man. It's like a techie's dream in here.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's crazy. I could do a whole episode about what I've learned tech-wise being a co-host here since 2017, January.
No, what you should do is take one of the cameras and walk around.
Yeah.
And show everybody what's going on here because, man, this operation, it's not just a little tiny operation.
Yeah, everybody has that impression when they walk in, like, oh.
That was my exact thought. I was like, first of all, I noticed the smell.
Yeah.
Cigars. Everybody's smoking cigars. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. But, man, it's you got a great crew here.
Yeah. But Paul and his staff do a very a fantastic job of not only producing the show but keeping it going and the behind the scenes and all the tech stuff. So hats off to them.
Absolutely.
And what I like about it is next month it's gonna be a buzzer to get to us.
Oh really?
Yeah. So it's gonna be like, who are you? Right? Right? So it's gonna be awesome.
I don't want to talk to you. So for the record, let it be known that if Joe doesn't want to talk to you, you're not getting buzzed in.
You're not getting buzzed in, right? You're not getting buzzed in. I had the Nat Sherman Metropolitan Connecticut.
Oh, I asked on your floor.
No, Paul does it all the time. Don't worry about it. Right? The Nat Sherman Metropolitan Connecticut. I had the Robusto. It's a 5.5 by 56. Wrapper is Connecticut. Binder and filler is Dominican. Complexity, flavor, and balance. I gave them all 7s. You get a mixture of cream, earthiness with some slight cedar. Again, classic smooth cigar. This would equally please the beginner smoker for sure and the seasoned smoker. And I also wanted to make a note that it is excellent breakfast or morning smoke cigar.
Absolutely.
Nat Sherman did a great job with that. I gave it a box split with a friend. That you can grab them. Some shops still focus on the Nat Shermans. I know sometimes they put them online. Is the whole going back and forth online, not online. It is what it is. There too, but the Nat Sherman Metropolitan Connecticut, I gave it a box split with a friend.
Absolutely.
You go golfing. It's a good golf cigar. It's a great morning stick. I don't know. I love when I take a day off of cigars. I have 2 days a week that I just let my palate rest.
You should. Absolutely.
I do that. And it's not a scheduled 2 days. It's a random 2 days. And I love that if I know it's a good breakfast cigar, I'll ramp up to that. You know what I mean? Like I'll be like, oh yeah, there's sometimes it's amazing if you just take a day off. You know, if you're, I understand it's great to go to your local tobacconist every day. You see your friends, you get to take some time out of this crazy world, but it gives me a chance to do other stuff.
Well, your palate needs a break. I mean, you can burn your palate out.
Yeah.
Especially for the guys that smoke the same thing over and over again. Like, for example, I smoke Hiram and Solomon all the time. And I find that if I go to a different cigar, it's like I can't taste anything because my palate's been burned out. So I'll take a couple days off. Like, I didn't smoke anything this weekend, while I was hanging out with the kids. And I got in the car this morning, and I lit up a cigar, and I was like, whoa. All right, I can actually taste this one now.
Yeah, sure.
The same cigar I had the other night.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, this is good. I knew this was a good stick, but the other night it was like I don't taste anything. It was almost like smoking a bland Connecticut.
Sure.
So
now,
it's good to rest.
Now, before we take off, I want to ask you my favorite rep question.
What's that?
That I ask. Other than your stuff, what do you like to smoke?
Other than my stuff, what I like to smoke. All right. That's fair. So I'm a really big Pete Johnson fan.
As am I.
Love Tatuaje. His parents have a little shop right in my backyard. He graduated from actually my rival high school. He graduated from Gardner. I graduated from Coney. And that's the second oldest rivalry in the country for any sport, high school up through college and to the NFL and hockey and all those baseball sports. So I love his stuff. Big fan. I think Tatuaje has hit the nail on the head. I think they're heading in the right direction, and I think that what they've done is unreal. Some of the stuff they've come out with is great. The other company that I really like, I'm very boutique. I like BLTC.
Okay.
I think that the Black Label has done a great job. I've had some of their factory exclusive stuff that's coming out this year. They've been posting some pictures, and I've had some of that stuff courtesy of some of my vendors. So it's interesting to smoke the different stuff. And my top, to round out my top three, I just had a Tabernacle the other day.
Okay, yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
And that hit my top three.
Yeah.
So that was a great smoke, lots of flavor, and very, very good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We probably off the top of my head, like 10 segments ago, or something like that on Stogie Geeks, we did a top 5 to watch, brands to watch, and Black Label was one of my top 5.
James Brown is insane.
To watch, and especially did you try the Killer Bee?
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah, then
I've
there's
had
another
one in
one.
My humidor for like 6 months.
The Santa Marta.
I haven't had that one yet.
It's next door. My rating of the Santa Marta was, okay, it's different from any Black Label that you would have, for sure. And if this is the direction that the company's going in,
oh, you just wait.
Like definitely pay attention to this company.
You just wait.
Because some companies, like they come out, they kind of say they're a profile. Like, there's nothing against Arturo Fluente, but they have a profile.
You know what they're going to.
You know what it's going to be. There's
Absolutely.
nothing. EP Carrillo. Every once in a while, when they come out with like a stunner or something like that's out of the blend, but you know what to expect from EP Carrillo. Yep. You know what to expect from some stuff from General. Again, we can go. You know what to expect from the Davidoff, right?
Yep, absolutely.
But when you look at Black Label, and they had their profile from their Salvation and the original line, right? And the Royalty, and I'm missing like 3 or 4 other ones,
Catacomb,
right? Thank you.
Deliverance.
Right? Yes, thank you. Right.
I told you.
So bad.
I told you.
I'm so bad with stuff like that. Like, it took me like 7 months to pronounce Criollo right. Like, seriously. Like
I still can't pronounce half the tobaccos in my cigars, so it's okay.
But and when I have, you gotta try the Santa Marta. It's next.
I will as soon as we leave here. I'll grab one.
It's like it's usually, honestly, it's so different that it's probably out of 4 Mondays after Stogie Geeks, because I get together with the crew after the show, and the crew gets out of work, and we have one more stick next door, right? And I usually go to the Santa Marta, because sometimes when I smoke here on the Stogie Geek Show, I've went through a couple sticks, pallets, sometimes get shot or whatever. Sometimes I have more rum or whiskey than I should. Right? So I switched to soda next door and stuff like that and whatnot. But, you know, I go to the Santa Muerta because it's that different. Like, well, it's amazing.
Let me for all you viewers out there, here's a little peek at what's coming from Black Label.
Oh, here we go. I like it.
So a friend of mine, and
starting rumors here on the Stogie Geek Show.
We got it right.
That's all right.
We got it. So a friend of mine came back from the factory in Nicaragua, and he said, I was there bringing him some cigars. He said, "You got to try these." I said, "Okay, great." I said, "What is it?" And he said, "This one's called the Fiend. This one's called the Misfit, and I think the other one was Tiger or something like that. It's a barber pole. I don't remember the exact name of it." I said, "Wow," because he found out I love Black Label. So I put him in my humidor, set him aside for a rainy day, right? So we get in the mobile lounge one night, and the mobile lounge is my car.
Okay.
It's freaking cold out.
I like it.
And I'm sipping on my rum, and I'm like, I'm going to try myself a Fiend tonight. So I'm not going to go into details on blend because I want you guys to be surprised when it comes out. They've started posting pictures on James Brown / BLTC Blackworks Studio on Facebook. Look them up. Great page. You can find all the latest information there. But basically, this cigar knocked my socks off.
Really?
Because it had pepper. It had sweetness. It had, I mean, this stick was everything I want in a stick, and it did not disappoint as you would expect from Black Label. Did not disappoint. It's cutting edge. I'm telling you, when the new cigars come out, they're going to take the market by storm.
Nice.
You mark my words right here, right now.
There you go.
When these new cigars come out, they're going to be all the rage in the market. I guarantee it.
And no collaboration.
Right.
Because my prediction was this IPCPR. And throughout 2018, you're going to see a lot of collaboration work.
Yeah.
It started that way at the end of the year.
No, and that's...
But I think they're just trying to keep it close, and then it's right after IPCPR round, you're going to start to see that. And no collaboration. So
absolutely. Yeah. And they're nailing it. I'm excited for Hiram and Solomon. I'm excited for Ohana. I think the cigar industry is headed in the right direction. Just remember, people, support your local brick and mortars, because if we don't buy from them, eventually we're going to have nowhere to smoke.
That's very true. That's very true. I do have one more question.
Oh, boy.
Because you didn't answer the first question.
What do you mean I didn't answer the first question?
Which tatuajes?
Which tatuajes?
You just said you like Pete Johnson's line. Well, that's cool. Like what would be your top two go-to? There's no pressure. It's only
no pressure.
It's only us here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. It's only us. There's not like 15,000 people watching. I would have to say the tattoo is my go-to. If I go in a shop and they have it, that's my go-to. I forget the name of the other one that I smoked. A friend of mine, Nate, back home, he's an even bigger Tatuaje fan, and he hands me cigars all the time.
What's the band look like?
You had to ask. It's been months.
It's okay.
I forget.
Okay.
It's name a couple.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. See?
You can't, what? There's La Mission, the Mission?
No, it wasn't
79, 59.
No.
89, 29. I don't know. No, there's so many. You have Black Label.
Tattoo,
I like the Tatuaje, the tap black. So it's a Black Label.
Yeah.
The tap black Lancero.
Okay.
It's like banging, you know.
And a lot of the ones that I get at his mom's shop aren't banded. So a lot of them are just wholesale like stuff that he sends to her.
Oh, it's probably the Series P.
It could, yes.
So it's a Series P.
I think it's a Series P.
If it's a Series P, wow, this happens like all the time on Stogie Geeks. Seriously, when we never talk about it, but it comes up. I actually rated that cigar last week.
Really?
On Stogie Geeks.
Yeah, it
definitely. They're only in bundles.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a Series P. They originally started out rolling only in Miami. You know, and then they go there. And
it was one of his original blends.
Yeah, and it mimics the tap black blend.
Yep.
It's got some mixed fillers in there. Off the top of my head, but week to week, the Stogie Geeks is like a blur, right? Actually, the current show is a blur. Who do we interview today?
I forget.
Who do we interview today? Who are you? Hold on. I got a card. We got Chris. No, but the Series P, they're so tasty.
Yes, they're
the funny thing is, like, if you look them up, they're not expensive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
If you guys are up in Maine, One Brunswick Trading, downtown Gardner, Maine, that's where Pete's parents are at. His dad will talk your ear off. Super nice guy. Knows his stuff about antiques, but he also knows his stuff about cigars. So
you live in Maine, craft beer mecca.
Oh man, let me tell you.
You have 87 breweries and counting over there.
Did you hear about what we? That's just counting the ones that actually register with the state.
Right.
I mean, it's like Moonshine Central up there. Because
sure. Yeah.
It's not actually moonshine though; it's craft beer.
Yep.
Like they're not registered with the state, but you can buy their beer.
Yeah.
Did you hear what we did with? I forget what country. I want to say it was maybe Ireland.
Oh no! They filled. I know what you're talking about. I actually posted this on my Facebook.
Yeah, I forget what country.
They filled up one of those long trailers.
Yeah. The cargo
of craft beer, and
yeah,
it was, I believe it was Iceland.
Iceland, yes.
Yeah, I believe it was Iceland, and like 50 craft breweries all did, and they actually did a craft beer festival.
Yeah, over there. And then they sent their beer back over here in the same trailer.
And they sent it back on the same trailer, and it was so and you know and that, I mean, it's a different episode for sure, but that is true embracing of your space of where you work in.
Absolutely.
But that is also true, like, economic stimulus where you can now in this trailer, we actually got a tour inside of it where it comes with the keg.
It was
a kegerator.
It was a kegerator.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was
all
a giant
different
kegerator.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was yeah. They actually sent it to Iceland for a craft beer festival.
Yeah, and then we had a festival over here.
And then the Maine had the Brewers Guild of Maine does a phenomenal job.
And I'll tell you, craft beer pairs really well with a cigar.
Oh yes,
you got to get the right one, but craft beer pairs really well.
Paul wants more of that tasting going on to wrap up 2018.
Yeah.
Right now we've been doing a lot of it with the wines and stuff like that. And then Stogie Geeks has been traditionally doing it with spirits forever. But craft beer is one of the things that...
Let me know. I'll pick up a few six-packs on the way by.
And then you come down?
And then I'll come down.
Have to have a panel.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have a panel of people out here.
It'll be like last week's show when we had the whole guild.
I mean, you can walk into a store up there, and I'm getting off topic here, but you can walk into
I do it all the time. The crew's totally used to it. You know, I said goodbye to the audience a long time ago.
Sorry, guys.
Right.
So you go into a store up there, and of course, liquor's regulated by the state. Beer is distributed by a distribution company up there. So all these places register with the state. Even like the big names like Shipyard has a location in Maine, in Portland, where they have a store that sells memorabilia, but the store has to buy the beer back from the distribution company in order to sell it.
Yeah.
So you take tours of all these breweries, and they have select samples that you can buy that aren't on the market.
Right.
Like Allagash, man. They have some stuff in there.
I've been there, yeah.
Oh, man, they have some stuff in their cooler that it's $30 a bottle.
Yeah.
But it's worth every bit of it. But you walk into one of these liquor stores, beer stores, and there's literally 6 aisles wide of 600 different beers that you can choose from. And you get overwhelmed. It's worse than walking into a humidor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unreal.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
We got to have you back for a craft beer thing.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
That's it. Episode 267 in the wraps. I have been your host, Joe Hozempa. Thank you for tuning in. Chris, thank you for joining us.
Hey, pleasure to be here, guys. Remember to support your brick and mortar.
Good luck on the road. We'll see you next week.